Why do some couples seem made to withstand everything, as if nothing could break them, while others fall apart at the first conflict? It's not luck. It's not destiny playing in favor of some and against others. It's something much deeper, something that isn't visible at first glance, but is strongly felt when it's present. Relationships that truly work have invisible but incredibly powerful patterns. They have nothing to do with tricks, astrological compatibilities, or fairy tales. They are conscious decisions, looks that are never forgotten, conversations that stay in the soul, and a commitment that goes far beyond the butterflies at the beginning. And when you learn to identify those patterns, you start seeing them everywhere. Today, we are going to discover exactly that. The ingredients that make the difference between a relationship that simply survives and one that truly flourishes. 1. Desire and attraction, the fire you can't fake. When you truly desire someone, there is no need to say it. It shows in the way you look at them, in how your face lights up when you see them, in that laugh that escapes without you realizing it. Desire is an internal spark that cannot be manufactured or forced. It is something that drags you with a visceral energy, making you want to be close, to share even the silences, to touch just because. But desire, although powerful, needs something to keep it alive, and that's where attraction comes in. That mysterious force that, although it can be born from a simple glance or the way someone moves or smiles, is not sustained by the physical alone. Real attraction is anchored in the emotional, the intellectual, the invisible. It's when two people not only like each other, they recognize each other. And although desire and attraction are not the same, they work like an intimate choreography. Sometimes one leads, other times the other takes the rhythm, but they always feed off each other. When they are present, the relationship not only vibrates, it breathes. The other becomes a fascinating universe, a unique work of art, alive, unrepeatable. And you want to stay there, exploring every corner, again and again. 2. Reciprocity, the art of supporting each other. In relationships that truly work, no one is above or below. There are no hierarchies, no one-sided sacrifices, nor imbalances disguised as love. A healthy couple is built on horizontality, two people who choose each other from the same level, who take care of each other, who support each other, and who do so because they want to, not because they have to. It's not about keeping score or making mental lists of what one gives and the other returns. It's about feeling that what you give is not lost, does not vanish into the void. It's about knowing that your words, your time, your affection have an echo, that they come back to you in different ways, but just as meaningful. Imagine that every act of love is a boomerang made of details, attention, affection, and that it always returns. Not because you demand it, but because the relationship has a natural flow, a dance of mutual care. When that happens, there is no need to ask to be seen, to be heard, to be hugged. They do it, because both are committed to something bigger than themselves, the bond they are creating. And we are not talking about flowers or gifts. We are talking about being, truly, about listening even when nothing is said, about looking at the other and recognizing when they need silence, when they need company. That, when it happens between two people who care for each other without measure, builds an emotional home, a place where you know for sure that you are not alone. 3. Own spaces, loving without disappearing. One of the clearest signs of a mature couple is not how much time they spend together, but how they respect each other when they are apart. Because relationships that grow are not those that merge into one, but those built from two complete beings who are not afraid to have their own world. Having your own space is not distancing yourself from the relationship. It is getting closer to yourself. It is that intimate moment when you turn off the outside noise and listen to yourself. Like when you put on your headphones and let a song pierce your soul. Just you, your emotions, your truth. That moment is also part of love. Personal space is not just a physical place. It is an emotional corner where you can dream, think, process, and reconnect with yourself. It is the space where you don't need to justify yourself, edit yourself, or ask permission to be who you are. And when each person has that place within themselves, the relationship breathes. It breathes. Because two people who respect each other's individuality do not lose each other. They empower each other. The relationship does not become a cage, but a garden where each one blooms at their own pace, but with the joy of doing it together. And it is there, right there, where a different kind of magic is born. Constant amazement. Because when nothing is taken for granted, there is always something new to discover. In the other, and in yourself. 4. Admiration, the silent engine of lasting love. When you stop admiring your partner, something in the bond fades. Love needs emotional roots, but it also needs that spark that ignites when you look at the other person and think, "How lucky I am to share my life with someone like this." To admire is to see with new eyes what you already know. It is to discover the extraordinary in the simplest gestures, in how they lovingly make you a coffee, in how they listen attentively, in how they face a bad day without giving up. Sometimes, admiration is born from the everyday, from their unique way of laughing or looking at the world. Other times, it emerges from how they treat others, from their curiosity, their passion, their dedication. When you admire, you do not idealize. You recognize the value in the other person, even in their imperfect humanity. And that inspires. It makes you want to grow, not out of obligation, but because being close to someone like that reminds you who you want to be. Admiration is that invisible thread that keeps love awake, even when routine threatens to extinguish it. 5. Depth and devotion, a bond beyond words. Being present is not just occupying the same physical space, it is being emotionally attuned. Sensitivity in a couple is that almost intuitive ability to notice what is happening to the other even when they don't say it. It is looking beyond the gesture, listening beyond the words. You don't need to be a mind reader, just truly available, willing to feel with the other, not just observe from afar. And when that sensitivity is combined with commitment, the bond becomes deeply human. Committing is showing yourself fully, without masks or filters. It means saying, "Here I am with all that I am, my strengths, my fears, my wounds, and my desires." It is having the courage to love without reservations, even when the soul trembles. In that shared space, something powerful is born, a love that becomes a refuge, an emotional home, where you can cry without shame and laugh without limits, where you feel supported, not judged, and that, in times when love is often quick and superficial, is a treasure. 6. Respect, the solid ground on which everything is built. Without respect, everything else wobbles. And we're not just talking about good manners or avoiding arguments. Real respect is deep, silent, constant. It is seeing the other as a free, different person, completely valuable in themselves. It is understanding that you are not there to change them or mold them in your image. It is accepting their silences without pressuring them, their ideas without ridiculing them, their way of being, even if it doesn't resemble yours. To respect is to have the sensitivity to know when to approach and when to give space. It is creating an environment where the other can be authentic without fear of being judged or hurt. Imagine respect as an unspoken promise. I will not use what I know about you against you. This space between us is safe. When respect is present, the relationship becomes a place where one can grow without fear, make mistakes without guilt, change without risking love. Because respect does not demand perfection. It demands humanity, and in that humanity, the most real love blooms. 7. Communication and honesty, when talking is also loving. In a relationship that truly works, communication is not just necessary, it is transformative. It's not simply about talking a lot, but about speaking truthfully, about truly listening, about connecting. Authentic communication is that invisible dance where every word builds bridges and every silence respects the other without breaking the bond. It is being able to say what you feel, even when your voice trembles. It is sharing your doubts, your dreams, your wounds, without fear that the other will walk away. And this is where honesty comes in, which is not just saying what the other wants to hear. It is having the courage to be yourself, without sweetening, without disguising. It is being able to look the other in the eyes and say, "This is my truth. Can we build from here?" Honesty creates fertile ground where the most valuable thing can grow, deep trust. The kind that allows you to open up without fear, to show your soul without armor. And when that exists between two people, there is no argument that cannot be resolved, no wound that cannot be healed. Because when you can be yourself, whole, and feel accepted, you know that love is real. 8. Humor and shared vision, the invisible glue. Couples who last are not those who never argue, but those who know how to laugh in the midst of chaos, who not only share plans but also laughter. Having a shared vision of life means understanding that, although the paths are not always identical, the horizon they look toward is. It means knowing that both are walking toward the same us, where individual achievements are celebrated together, and stumbles are supported with empathy. But if there is something that sustains a relationship on gray days, it is humor. That kind of laughter that is not forced, that comes from trust, complicity, from knowing you are a team. Humor does not eliminate problems, but it makes them lighter. It allows you to breathe when everything seems tense. Laughing at yourself, at the absurdity of everyday life, at mistakes, at routines, is also a way of loving. It means saying, we can be imperfect, clumsy, real, and still choose each other. When a couple finds joy, even in the ordinary, they transform life into something much kinder. Because in the end, what remains are not just the big moments, but the unexpected laughs, the knowing glances, and that feeling that, no matter what happens, you will keep walking by their side with love and with laughter. And finally, number 9, clear boundaries, when loving you also means setting limits. Couples that truly work do not do so because everything is easy, but because they have learned to care for each other without neglecting themselves. Knowing how to set boundaries is not about hiding or closing doors. It means saying, here I am, with all my love, but also with my integrity. Boundaries are not set because there is something to hide, but because there is something very valuable to protect, your well-being, your dignity, your essence. And within those boundaries, there is something non-negotiable, your self-fulfillment. Your personal growth should not be a threat to the relationship, but an opportunity to enrich it. Learning, creating, dreaming, exploring new paths, all of that belongs to you. And if a couple is genuine, they will not try to extinguish that light, but walk beside you as you make it shine brighter. Because when you flourish as an individual, the we also becomes stronger, more authentic, more free. A healthy couple does not limit your flight, it accompanies it. There are also those invisible but sacred boundaries, your principles, your values, that which makes you feel coherent with yourself. If a relationship asks you to cross that line, to betray yourself, to give up what makes you feel whole, then it is not love, it is loss. Your values are your internal compass. If you lose them to be with someone, you're also losing yourself. And no bond is worth more than your own truth. Always remember this. You are a valuable, unique being. You deserve to love and be loved from a place where you can be yourself without fear, where your dreams are non-negotiable, where your authenticity is not a price to pay. The love that truly matters is not the one that demands you shrink, but the one that celebrates you as you are and encourages you to keep growing. Thank you for being here at Jung and You Psychology for Change, for giving yourself this space and allowing yourself to understand, grow, and be. If this content has resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel, activate the notification bell, and share it if you think it can help someone who needs it. Because here, we continue exploring together what transforms us. See you in the next video. Until then, take good care of yourself.